Hi, Karen Curry Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. I want to start this week with a short little overview of what's up for us from the sun and the earth, and then I want to talk about something really interesting and big that's happening in the nodes and how that might impact us over the next few years. So the sun this week transits the gate 46, the gate of embodiment. The earth this week transits the gate 25, the gate of the love of spirit. So let's start this week first by looking at the energy that the earth is bringing us. And the earth is telling us, you got to get connected with source. You got to really revisit where you're at in your relationship with your higher purpose. And when you can ground yourself in that trust and that knowingness that you are part of something that is bigger than you by yourself, that you are an individuated aspect of the divine that is here to be of service to the cosmic plan, and that you are a unique, vital, and irreplaceable part of that cosmic plan, when you can really drop into that understanding and awareness, then you bring the full essence of your spirit, your soul, your life force into your body, which is, of course, our theme of the sun. So the sun this week transits in the gate 46. The gate 46 is the gate of embodiment, and it is an invitation, if you will, for us to remember that the body is a vehicle for the soul, that we have to really be present to the physical form to drop into the full expression of our vitality in order for us to serve our higher purpose. We can't just sit around and meditate and hope that poof magic things will happen, that we actually have to do the work of being in third dimensional bodies. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to burn yourself out and grind yourself out. In fact, quite the opposite. It means that you have to love and take care of your body as an important part of your message or your mission or your purpose, depending on what you're doing with your life as part of your higher purpose. The body itself is designed to be not only a vehicle for the soul, a way for us to, in a sensual process, experience all the abundance that is the unique experience of being alive as a human being. And so a big invitation this week to explore, where are you at with your relationship with your body? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you nurturing yourself? What does your body need from you in the way of love and support? And can you give yourself permission to really nurture that body as an essential part of your spiritual practice and your spiritual and higher purpose, if you will? These two gates are part of the incarnation cross of the vessel of love. This cross shows up 4 times a year in the middle of every one of the human design creative quarters. We're in the middle of a quarter right now that's all about reaping the harvest or the fruits of what we've been building and creating since the beginning of the new year in January. Certainly, this is really a work-based incarnation cross. It is a very tangible. I hate to say the word work because I think we get really confused about what work is. The true definition of work is being in response to the needs of the flow of life. And when we are doing our right work, it's not, God, I can't wait till Friday. It's, I'm in the flow of the full expression of who I am. That's how the right work feels. And so certainly this week is an invitation for us to calibrate in the middle of this quarter our right work with love, and to check in to make sure that whatever it is that we're building on, whatever it is that we're creating or moving towards, is deeply rooted in love, which is the most important direction-giving energy in the chart. We see that in the G center. Who we are and the quality of love we experience influences the tone and the direction that we take our life. It influences what we attract and what we experience in our life. And so really important opportunity too, as we look at really being in love with the physical expression of who you are and nurturing and loving the body, that we're really taking the actions necessary to sustain our physical well-being and enjoy the sensual aspect of being alive in a body. So, all right, now I want to talk about something really kind of interesting and cool. So a couple of weeks ago, the nodes are sort of the bookends, if you will, on the outline of our current life exploration. The nodes set the tone for what we're really exploring and learning, both personally and collectively. I always think of the nodes sort of as the beginning and the end in the story of the chart. So your South Node theme is all about what you're learning, what you have to master to lay the foundation of wisdom and knowledge and maturity. And your North Node theme is really about what are you going to do with that maturity? How are you going to take those lessons that you've learned from your life and put them out into the world in a contributory and meaningful and authentic way? So our South Node right now is in the gate 34, the gate of power. North Node is in the gate 20, the gate of patience. This theme, first of all, gives us, by definition through the chart, the archetype of the 3420 manifesting generator. The channel 3420 is defined from the sacral to the throat. This is the most powerful energy in the chart. It is the only place where the sacral center makes it directly to the throat without going through another center. It is also the channel that is going to be featured in the energy of the next global cycle, which starts in 2027, moving us into a global theme of the incarnation cross of the sleeping phoenix. Part of why this is so interesting and notable is that from now until January 18, 2022, all children born will be manifesting generators. So that's a pretty interesting thing to think about, right? When you think about what's it going to be like in a few years when this wave of manifesting generators starts school. That's interesting. I'm just going to leave that there for you to contemplate. What it also means is that for this cycle, we are all, each and every one of us, exploring our relationship with our own personal power, our sense of empowerment, our willingness to trust in divine flow and right timing, and our ability to organize ourselves in transformative and empowered ways around new thoughts and new ideas, new convictions, new possibilities that have the potential for us to create revolutions and generate something completely new and different in the world, something bigger and better that will be of a greater source of sustainability and resources for others. Now, this marks the beginning of a very interesting cycle, because what we'll see is that for the next few years, depending on how you interpret it, I mean, this can be going, this is going to go on for as long as up to 2024. For the next 4 years, the nodes, to a certain degree, are all going to be in gates that are in individual circuitry. Now, let me back up for a minute and talk about what that means. In human design, there are 3 kinds of circuits: individual circuits, collective circuits, and tribal circuits. The circuitry kind of outlines or explains the process of evolution. Individual circuitry always brings mutation or change. So those of you who have a lot of individual circuitry defined, your job in the world is to bring in change. You may oftentimes feel different and set apart from others because you're not here to be like everybody else. You're here to bring change. And so you're going to be the one that sort of paves the way and breaks free from the edges of the boundaries of where we are now. Individual circuitry becomes contagious, if you will. People who have a lot of tribal circuitry are watching you. And then if what you're doing that's new and different is really powerful and important, they're going to start integrating and incorporating into what they do so that they can start using what you're demonstrating, the change you're bringing, in their smaller groups, their communities, their tribes, their families. If enough people in enough communities start integrating and assimilating the individual changes that have been made, then that goes up the chain, if you will, into the collective, into our more bigger structures, into the bigger structures that we organize ourselves around: government, institutions, systems. So evolution has kind of this 3-tier level of tiers. It starts first with mutation, then integration, and then assimilation and transmission. The nodes for the next few years are all going to be in individual gates. Now, let's talk about what that means, because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconstruing of teachings in the traditional human design community about what is individuality. Ra used to teach individuals don't care. And what I think he was really trying to say was not that people who have a lot of individuality, they don't care, they're just all in it for themselves and it's all about them and they just go do what they want to do, to heck with everybody else. That's not really the definition of individuality. If you look at the fact that individuality appears within the context of an entire chart that has all the parts of it included in it, Nobody is designed to just go do whatever the heck they want and not care about the impact that it has on other people. So that's the shadow side of low self-worth. That's not individual circuitry. Individual circuitry is here to bring change. And oftentimes the desire to bring that change is rooted in a desire to maximize the potential of the human story. Remember, we all have a G center. The course and the direction, the tone for where we go and who we are is set by the energy of love. It's rooted in place by self-love, self-empowerment, self-expression, self-definition, connection to source, love of the body, the willingness to allow yourself to receive everything you need, and compassion. These are the themes of the gates of the G Center. Individuality is about dropping into the full power of your self-expression as a transformative force. You are designed to be the full expression of who you are, how you are, in the way that's right for you. And in fact, that's such an important directive that if we don't get the opportunity to really express the truth of who we are, the body experiences it as trauma. And that has the ability to impact our long-term health and well-being. There's so much new data coming out about this. It's crazy. So we have this big theme in front of us collectively that's being held by the planets that says it's time for us to really step up and be the truth of who we are, to really maximize the narrative that we're telling, to really be grounded and rooted in a true story that is worthy of who we are and that actually defines for us our right place and our right space in the world. This is the imperative that the planets are sending us, because it's not because you're supposed to get to go do what you want to do and to heck with everybody else. They're giving us this message because it's from that place of full self-expression, full self-empowerment, self-love, and the courage with that to follow our own conviction. It's from that place that we better can serve the world. Because from that place, we automatically tap into states of well-being, alignment with frequencies of energies that make us more abundant, that amplify how good we feel about who we are and how we create the reality of our lives. When we move into that full self-expression, when we embody that, and that's our theme for the week, right? When we really embody the truth of who we are, our true story, and we live it and we breathe it and we captivate and cultivate that deep sense of well-being that comes from being authentically aligned, that energy is contagious. That energy starts revolutions. That energy is the energy that totally brings change to the world. And so when we live true to who we are, when we fully express the truth of who we are, without hesitation, without settling, without rationalizing taking less than who you are as normal, when we normalize being the full expression of who you are, we are going to elevate the quality of well-being on the planet. And when we, each and every one of us, individually embody a high quality of well-being, that quality of well-being is contagious. And when we become more and more embodied in the energy of well-being and we spread that around, we will find the elegant solutions to the challenges facing humanity today. I promise. Because it is going to be part of our natural, normal dialogue to look at how can we create even more from our place of enoughness. The more we have, the more we have to share. The more we are, the more we become. The more we become, the more we create space for others to do the same. That's our challenge for the next few years. It's going to be a great couple of years. There's a lot for us to learn, a lot of old karma for us to release, and it's time. It's time. Don't let anything stop you from being the full expression of who you are. That's it. Have a great week.